Well, I'm sure the Secret Service was a little bit nervous because Donald Trump held his very first rally outdoors since the assassination attempt in Butler, PA, and then he does something unbelievable. I'm going to show you exactly what that was and some of the new security measures that were put into place for this rally specifically, and I'm going to give you my opinion. Of course, I want to hear yours. Do you think these security measures were enough? Do you think maybe these security measures are better than the Secret Service? Whatever your opinion may be, leave that down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. Let's go and get into it. So Trump decided to hold his first outdoor rally in North Carolina, where he is slightly up in the polls as far as I know. I don't put much stock into polls because they were totally wrong in 2016. And while obviously there's been a momentum shift, there's still quite a ways to go, so I don't put that much stock into it. But either way, North Carolina's a swing state. And that's not going to be the last time that he ends up there before the election for sure. So he decided to use the North Carolina Aviation Museum as his backdrop, as to host this event. They have a lot of World War II planes there. Those planes were freaking awesome in the backdrop and all that kind of stuff. And in a very important state for him to win, of course. Well, one of the first things you'll notice is that there was actually bulletproof glass not only in front of him, but behind him. Now, according to Secret Service, these were to control things that are out of their control. You'll notice there's a wood line. There's woods all around this complex, by the way. They have their runway, and then there's just a 2-lane road that takes you to the museum. So a lot of different potential security risks at an event like this, to be honest with you. And of course, they told Trump, they were like, you shouldn't be doing outdoor rallies anymore. And Trump, of course, he's going to do his own thing. He wants to connect with people. And I'm sure even looking behind this bulletproof glass bugged the crap out of him. But still, we'll talk more about that here in a second. Now, according to one reporter, there were counter sniper teams on every single roof this time. They didn't go into any more security details, although they did say that where the actual security entrance, it was further away this time than where it was in Butler, right? So the security entrance and where they were screening people, the magnetometers and all that, they were very close to where the stage was. And so that's why we saw all those people that were outside of the Butler, PA rally, and they're like, we haven't even been screened and we're really close to the stage. This time it wasn't like that, according to this reporter. Now, that's all they really would share with us. There was no mention of drone or counter drone technology that was used. I would like to say I would assume they're going to use that because, again, when I looked at this facility on Google Earth, there's a lot of woods, right? There's a lot of potential security risks that could be there, right? And President Trump, he doesn't want to be looking at his people from behind glass, right? He wants to be up close and personal. I'll talk about that here in a minute. That's kind of the unbelievable part of the video. But still, we don't know if maybe there was counter snipers, maybe on those tree lines. We have no idea. I think that would be really interesting to see an entire layout of where those counter snipers were and the technology they used from that event, just to kind of compare that to Butler. If Trump has to look from behind bulletproof glass, which is not uncommon, definitely for presidents, then that's what he's got to do. Right? I think in order for him to have it outdoors, that glass is, going to could be a potential lifesaver for him. And so if he continues to do those outdoors, I honestly think that was a pretty good move, assuming that everything the reporter was saying was true and that each one of the countertops was covered, and drone technology especially, right? We've talked about the drone technology that they have at their disposal. What was the communications like? Again, we don't know all of this stuff, but assuming all of that stuff was used, I'd say overall, this was a much better attempt for the Secret Service to keep him safe, right? Remember, they have a $3.1 billion budget, and they're understaffed, or at least they were, by 1,500 agents as far as what their target number would be. They have money to spend, and things like that is absolutely what they should do. Now, the unbelievable part of this is that at one point, Trump stops the rally. He says, hey, we need to get a doctor over here.
A doctor, please.
Down here in the South, it's still freaking hot, right? A lot of places it's still hot. And one lady, I'm not sure if she had a heat stroke or, just the heat got to her for a minute, but Trump said, hey, take your time. Doctors, take your time. And then he walks from behind the glass over to the section where she was. Again, it's about the people. Kamala can talk about, the power of the P or people powered campaign, whatever kind of stupid slogan she uses. But Trump really is, a man of the people, and I thought that was such a freaking awesome display. That he's like, hey, they got all those security measures, that's great and everything, but when people need me to be there, I'm gonna be right there. So I thought that was really cool. Overall, I think they did a good job. You definitely seen when he walked away from that podium that Secret Service was like, oh, Jesus, come on, Trump. They were walking right behind him. They surrounded him. It looked like agents that were actually, big enough to be able to protect him. So there was a lot of differences between this rally and Butler, and that's what you want to see, man. Regardless if it wasn't the safest thing for him to do, you could definitely tell that the measures were much better than what we had seen. And again, I would like to see what other security measures they had in place. I don't know that they'll actually release that, just because, how much of that stuff do you want people to know? I would personally like to know. I don't know if you guys would like to know, but I want to hear from y'all, man. What do you think about the security protocols at this one? Do you think it was better? Is it the improvement you were looking for, or is there something else that you think should absolutely be there that maybe I missed? Let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.